This is Bobby with Renaissance Game Supply. So this morning I wanted to try something, kind of an experiment, so to speak. And what I did is, apparently I selected two sets. I meant to only do M21, but as long as one set is in there, it'll only find the one set. So what I decided to do was try to organize it by title. So by name. So what I did is I took cards that I had for M21 that were all labeled A, B, and C, and I just put them in the first three slots and left that one empty. So I didn't want to put D in there because I figured I had enough. And what I'm trying to do is to determine if it's going to organize all these by the same art and by different names, so that when it spits out the CSV file, all I gotta do is just count each stack by letter and then just hit upload without having to touch the cards, other than to just confirm the count. Because before I was spending about 30 minutes per CSV to kind of double check all the cards and everything and whatnot, but I think if I just break it down just a little further, only do a few letters at a time, I think I'm gonna actually get a little bit more of my time back as far as the processing goes. And this over here, oh, we got some upside down cards, so those will be rejects. As you can see over here, I already spit one out. And here's what I wanted to point out. See how the cards appear to just kind of start falling and trying to create a mess? The only way I have found to get rid of that mess is A, either babysit it, which that's not an option. I mean, we're all busy, we've got things to do. Or B, you have to tape with like electrical tape or white tape. You just take the tips of those together right there. That way they're not all separated. Because that's what the problem is, see? We're gonna fix that. But that's what the problem is, they're all just kind of settling now after shipment. And we're gonna fix that today so that it doesn't cause that issue. And the other issue, or the other fix, is to just 3D print your own pockets on the corners, so you don't have the towers on the sides and on the tops. But we're gonna let this one here continue sorting by sets, and then this one over here is sorting specifically A, B, and C out of M21. So now that the robot has finished organizing the M21, it did look like it did sort alphabetically and by title and grouped the same art. So did a pretty good job. Now it looks like it's mixed here, but it's not. It's actually layer enabled, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's see if I adjust this setting right here and I go over here and close this out right here where it says layer sort enabled. That's why it has these two different arts stacked on top of each other, and that's perfectly fine with me, because when you're doing 2 or 3 letters and it has more names than what you have pockets available, you're gonna wish you had that enabled. So over here in this one here, I was just doing set sorts, and as you can see, big problem. Look at these huge gaps, big gaps. So I'm gonna go get some black tape. I was just out a minute ago and I forgot, so now I gotta go back out again. I don't have any black tape on me today, but I'm gonna put a little ring of black tape around, and that'll squeeze these a little tighter. And then the robot arm, as you can see, one of them is broken already, so that one I don't have to worry about. I have the replacement for it. It's not a problem. It doesn't cause any issues to not have that little piece right there. In fact, it would probably benefit the robot quite a bit if all of those were broken off like that, because as you can see, look how tweaked comes up and then just kind of kicks off. So by putting black tape a ring around it, that should pull that back and pull that closed and that closed. Because what happens is the robot, as it's organizing, let me see here, I'm gonna bring it out. So as it's organizing, and it has a card with it, oops, we're gonna get all cockeyed here. So with the card width, I mean, there's not a whole lot of room, as you can tell. And that drops it right about that height. So you can tell sometimes it'll hit the side right there. It'll come over here and hit that side. Or sometimes this little pickup tool here will come down here and it'll bend the card down over that and doesn't quite set it properly in there. Oops, see, then it'll make that sound from time to time. So that's why having a better pocket system, kind of like a 3D printed one that can actually catch it, the cards on the corner, instead of these tops and sides, that'll actually help this machine quite a bit. Same thing over here, I gotta put some tape on. They had tape down inside. I don't know if you can quite see that. There's a little chunk of tape here or something, or double sticky something or other. It doesn't do that great of a job because A, it's thick, and you're still putting outward pressure on both. And it does this when it lets go, and sometimes that can catch the robot arm. So I'm gonna remove all that crap out of there today. I'm actually gonna just put a little ring of tape around, kind of like what I have here, and see how much closer that is. Same thing here. It looks ghetto as shit being taped up like that, but until I got the money enough to kind of go get a 3D printer and print my own new little card sorting trays there, there's not much I can do about it. I just gotta live with it. The other thing I'll probably do when I'm mocking this up and taping all these guys up is I'm probably gonna make my modification to that power cord hanging down. I'm gonna probably put my rocker switch in either today or tomorrow, because already just having it for 2 weeks, I'm already sick and tired of this. I can't stand that shit. This shit drives me nuts. Anyway, so I just kind of wanted to show you the follow-up to that little experiment. It actually did a pretty good job. I was rather impressed. I didn't know if that was actually what that was going to do, because again, I've never tried it. But as you can see, it did a pretty good job there. Now, the one thing I noticed it did not do is it did not distinguish between Showcase. And I think that's because Showcase is a subset of the M21, and I did not choose Showcase in here. Maybe they do have it. Let's see, M21. I don't see where Showcase is in there. But yeah, it recognizes the M21 set, but I don't see M21 Showcase. I don't know. I'd have to look at my CSV. Maybe it did pull up Showcase, maybe it didn't. I just know the other day when I was doing it, it was only pulling up the regular art, but counting Showcase as regular art. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and play around with this some more. I think I'm gonna leave it on M21. I'm gonna load letters D, E, and F in here, and I'm gonna run it and see how well it does. I'll take this CSV, remove any foils out of it, because if you run foils with non-foils, it's going to count them as the TCG player ID of a non-foil. So when you're loading your robot, this is how I handle it normally. When I must have missed this one. I try and clean it, meaning get your foils out, get your tokens out, and stuff like that. Any subsets like Strixhaven would have Mystical Archives and all that. Get that kind of stuff out of there, unless you include it as part of your custom sort. But yeah, typically just kind of clean it, get your stacks ready, and this robot will generally just rip right through that very, very quick, and most of the time without issue. Let's see what else. There was something else I wanted to show you. I think maybe it was over here. Oh yeah. So you can start, if you got multiple robots, you can start on several sets. So here's Amonkhet, and maybe I gotta take off here in a few minutes. So I might load more M21 in this one, since I now have that set all organized alphabetically or broken out by letter. Now I just want to organize it within the set. And then here I'm going to do the same with Amonkhet, get it all broken out by letter so that I can start uploading that set by tonight. Oh, and that's the other thing too, you want to make sure your arm is kind of almost like a 10 o'clock position. Yeah, that kind of sort of thing. Yeah, like 10 o'clock. And it's gonna make an adjustment on its own here in a minute when I fire these guys back up. And the other thing is too, is I'm gonna clean up some of this. Like this is a little tight with slack right here, and eventually that will chafe. That is a very sharp metal edge right there. You will get into your casing pretty well. So I'm gonna pull a little bit extra slack on that, get it over here, and I'm probably gonna zip tie it up high so that the robot can still go up and down and pivot, and the wires will still be loose enough to do what they need to do. See, like over here, they got the zip tie kind of here. I actually don't like it there. I like it kind of a little higher. That way it gives it some ability to kind of float, move around, and do things without unplugging from those little motors or the stop switches. Yeah, I mean, I might pull this machine out too and pop the side off. That way I can set up a camera, probably in the back corner over here, and just kind of looking out across both of the bays so you can see both robots working. I think I can get it out of the way back there. And I might pop this panel off too, or might even just set it right here on the desktop. Just kind of put it in here, kind of clean up the cabling a little bit. I think it'd be kind of cool to have a side view, seeing both robots working and operating. Anyway, that's probably about all I have for this particular video. I just wanted to kind of show you the different ways of sorting that you could do with this machine. It's pretty sweet. It's a very, very efficient machine, and if you can just keep up with the maintenance of it and do some preventative maintenance like I'm about to do with taping all this stuff kind of up and out of the way, you're gonna have yourself a machine that will probably run for months without having to replace parts or really have to get a hold of anybody for support or anything. So again, thanks for watching. I appreciate each and every subscriber, and hopefully this information I'm putting out there helps you with your decision making, or you with your machine if you have one. All right, well, thank you. Y'all have a great day.